Okay, now we're ready.
What up, Dingbat?
Dingbat.
I kind of like Dingbat, dude. It rolls off the tongue. Hey, Dingbat.
The
I like it.
title of the podcast. I don't know. Dingbat dudes. Dingbat dudes. Deep thoughts.
Not Dingbat dudes.
Dingbats.
Like
Deep thoughts.
Dingbats. Dingbats. I'm gonna have to change the name. A lot of dumb dude. A lot of DDs. Dumb dude.
Oh
Dingbat.
man,
Actually,
such high,
Dingbat is a
such
DB. I
such
don't know.
high
I don't know why.
expectations. Such high expectations
DB.
that I have for you are going down like really quickly.
Nobody believes you that you have high expectations for me. It's a lie.
Fair enough.
What about expectations? These are interesting. Expectations are interesting things.
These things called expectations. Yeah, man. So you and I obviously have quite a few deep conversations, but we also have deep conversations in the Storehouse Mastermind with some amazing men. We were talking about parenting, and I'm struggling regularly with my 4-year-old boy who's likes to challenge everything. Like if you tell him the sky's blue, he's gonna say the sky's green. And It's tough, man.
I mean, technically, if you took a spectrum analyzer, there's probably a good amount of green. I don't know, man.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. But we started talking about expectations, and that got into the conversation on one of our last dumb dudes about firing the lawn man. If you just hire the lawn service out every single time, and your kids never learn how to mow the lawn or do daily household tasks, you're setting this expectation. And how are they going to grow up? Like when they become an adult, like they're not going to know how to do any of this stuff. And we are not doing the job of being a good parent, a good dad, and raising our children to be kind of upstanding citizens, to be a good adult, a good human. So I think like the way we do things now and set expectations for our kids is really, really important. You have to like think about that like more than what we're doing right now. I don't know.
Yeah, dude. And I think, when you look at expectations, I think we as parents, this is something that, I think we've definitely improved on this because we're so focused on being better dads. But part of being a parent and being a dad and a mom is setting the conditions to create the adults that you want to thrive in this world, right? And so when you talk about expectations, like I had some friends and they got their kid their first cell phone. And so I was thinking,
Same.
my mind automatically went to thinking critically, right,
Yeah.
about that decision. And so, because we were also it's a friend of my daughter, and we were also looking at phones, and we ended up making a decision to get a awesome phone it's called Pinwheel. And my daughter, the expectations that were set around this conversation were it's a phone that we are 100% in control of. Like she can't even enter contacts. Like she has to ask us. We go into an app, we add people to it. Everything's under that level of control. It's not a very expensive phone. It's not the iPhone. Well, I don't even know what the new iPhone is, but everybody wants. But there's a lot of conversation that went into expectations. They weren't unspoken expectations. They were expectations that were delivered, effectively were rules. And there was also a level of engagement in control, and who has control of it and what you can and can't do and all this stuff, right? We have some friends that a number of friends actually that got their kids' phone, but their process was in this particular example I'm thinking about, they bought the newest phone for their kid. And they took the hand-me-downs. And in my house, and if you do that, that's fine. I'm not putting a moral qualification on this. I'm just simply saying in my house, because I've thought through it, my kids will never get a better phone than I have.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's not a pride issue. It's an expectation. You're creating in them the desire to have the best of the best.
Yeah.
You're saying that you are going to sacrifice your own, you're the ones, like, as the parents, working and doing things and probably using that device for its, other uses, but you're putting yourself under their perceived need for this top of the line thing. And there's just a lot of expectations that you're creating that you've not even questioned, what am I creating? And so, like, even when it comes to something simple like doing the laundry,
Yeah.
like, I don't know about your kids, but my kids just throw their clothes,
Yeah.
and I could pick them up. I could. And it's much easier to pick them up because when I say, guys, seriously, where the hamper is, this is an every night conversation,
Yeah.
every single night. But what keeps me driving towards them picking up their own clothes every single night, where I could just pick it up and it'd take probably 1/18 of the time, it's a very specific number. I'm creating young people and adults that think it's acceptable to throw their crap on the house, and that somebody at some point is going to clean up after them. If you don't think you're creating habits, you are. And if you're not analyzing it, I'm not a perfect parent. I'm terrible in many ways, but if you're
Yes.
not at least thinking about what is doing to your kids, then you're not only robbing yourself and your experience with your children and potentially creating, animosity and different feelings. You're robbing them of the opportunity to become responsible human beings, which we all should aim for that. But if you're not thinking in those terms, you're doing yourself and your kids a disservice, because there's lots of ways you're not going to be acting that's creating a responsible human being.
Yeah, dude. It's funny you say that. And we've been talking about the lawn man. That's been a topic of conversation a lot. And we had hired a high school kid to come over and mow our lawn a couple times while we were gone, or when we went to the pool. And then we had another like aha moment inside the mastermind. We did a dumb dudes topic about it. Then I decided to fire the lawn man. But this lawn man that I'm talking about, he's a high school junior. He rolls up, dude, in a Porsche Cayenne, like brand new, and like pulls his lawnmower out of the back of this Porsche Cayenne SUV. And like in my mind, I might immediately go like, I'm gonna pay this high school kid who's driving around a Porsche Cayenne to come mow the lawn. Like, and my kids see it, right? And I mean, my kids are 7 and 4, so they don't really know what that is and how much that car is. But like, I'm just like, wow, what are his parents doing? They're doing him such a disservice to give this 17-year-old kid a Porsche Cayenne to be driving around. And that's the bar now, right? That's the bar. There's, you know, no lower of
But
a
just
vehicle
just
that
to
he's gonna.
challenge it though, did you ask him like that? Immediately my mind goes to like, oh, nice car. Like, I'd start
Yeah,
talking to the
no,
kid,
I
right? And
didn't.
ask, because maybe, and just maybe, I don't know, maybe the parents are obviously well off, or maybe
Sure,
they're not. Maybe they're in a ton of debt because of that car.
sure.
But I wonder if then maybe there's a lesson like, hey, you want a car like this? Go work. And they let them borrow it. And I mean,
Maybe.
putting your lawnmower in the back of a Cayenne, I don't know
Yeah.
if I would do that. But I don't know, man. I would just challenge, and that's what's great about the mastermind, right? And because I'm a very opinionated individual. So like, you guys always challenge me.
No.
Right, exactly. You guys always challenge me to dig deeper. So I challenge you next time, if you see him, ask him. And if he's like, no, this is my car, then be like, okay, well, I'm gonna hire somebody
Yeah.
else. Or not, like, or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think, I mean, it's interesting because if the situation is what you assume it is, which it
Yeah.
could or could not be,
True.
that is exactly what those are the things that I'm, that we just need to at least understand the expectations that we're creating.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And what, and if, even if we're not, even if we make decisions, we have to make our own decisions for our own kids, our own family, and that's cool. Like, and if anybody judges, like, whatever, I don't, it's, you're not my family. But my only encouragement is to at least, as a parent, have that internal dialogue, and maybe have it with your husband or wife, of what are the consequences of us doing this or not doing this or buying this? Like, what are the consequences? And then at least you've thought about it and you move forward, right? If it's buying your kid the first car they ever had is a Porsche Cayenne, you just created an expectation that's going to be very, very difficult for your child to come back from, right? They've been driving a Cayenne, they go to college, now they have student loans, or you paid for, or whatever, or they don't have student loans, but they can't get a job. Most entry-level jobs cannot afford that kind of car and that payment. So now what does your kid do? Well, if you never addressed it, then, or they're just going to move back home because it's so much easier because I can drive a Porsche.
Yeah.
Which is, some people want that too. I do not want that. So for example, I'm already telling my kids, hey guys, I love you so much. You are not welcome to stay at my house rent free after you graduate high school. Like I do tell them, dude. And people are like, oh, you don't tell them. Ask my daughter, ask Maya. And it's not a point of pride, dude. It's a point of, I want her to go. Yep. I want Jake and Noah to go and be successful, happy, well-adjusted, resilient, young adults. That's what I want when they turn 18. And me giving them an option to stay here, that's not going to do that.
They rent. Be house hacking.
Yeah, the only thing I don't know is if they're in college, if I'll like make an exception, but I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Live at school. Bye. It's Stuart say bye, Gina.
I was about to say it, and I knew you'd make fun of me if I did, but thanks.
Bye,
anyways.
Half our listeners are probably like, yeah, bye, like, Gina. What? No, bye, Felicia. Anyway, good talk, man. I think it's good, dude. I think it's good to, again, it's not a qualification, a moral qualification. It's not a judgment. What you do with your kids, if you're in a group and we're talking about it, ultimately the decision you make for your family is your decision. Like I don't care. I mean, it's not that I don't care, but it's not my family. But if at the least, because you guys challenged me to think through these things, like if you're asking questions, I think it's a great place to be as a parent, man. Like what kind of adult?
At least you're thinking about it. At least you're thinking about it. Good stuff, man. Not so dumb. You're still dumb, but that discussion's not so dumb.
You're a giant dingbat. That's it. You're a dingbat. There's nothing really else to say.
Okay.
Except you're a dingbat. I love you. Thank you.
Too.
Thank you for challenging me to think deep thoughts. And if you're gonna not think deep thoughts, you might be dumb. You may not even know you're dumb because you don't even think deep thoughts. So signing off.
Don't be dumb.